Hello and welcome to Master the Moment. I'm Joe.
And I'm Christian, and Joe and I are the co-founders of the Culinary Executive Mastermind. And in this podcast, Joe and I are going to share with you our knowledge, our experience, and our expertise to help you to create a better life for yourself, for your family, for your career, and for your business.
Hello and welcome once again to Master Your Story. We're here with myself, Joe, and Chef Christian, and Chef Jerry as our special guest. Chef Christian, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, and good to see you, Chef Jerry. How have you been?
Good. It's good to be back, guys. Thank you.
Good.
Good to have you back.
Yes, we're excited to have you back and talk about a big venture you're up to and the big event you're hosting in the middle of the month. But before we get going, how are things going at the university? How are things with the students coming back?
It's getting better every day. I think the world hopefully is getting a little better every day, trying to get back to normal a little bit, best it can.
Yep.
Still a lot of uncertainty out there, but I think everybody takes it in stride. And, we all are wait and see mode. But as far as we're concerned as a university, come fall, so next semester, the university system of Georgia is 100% hell bent on being 100% back to normal. So we'll see how that goes. That's what we're planning for.
I call that the
awesome.
New normal.
Yeah. And how are things going with your staff? Are you guys 100%? What capacity are you guys running?
No, I'm not even at 50% right now, and it's killing me. Now, the good news is the university is letting us hire. They wouldn't last semester, obviously in 2020, but they've opened it up because they do want us all to be 100% going into the fall. But we can't get anybody to apply. We don't need to go into all the politics and all the opinions about that, but people just aren't wanting to work right now. But I think people are still a little scared. I'm hoping with summer, everybody will kind of get their feet back under them and get a little outside in the sunshine and maybe get back to whatever our new normal is going to be. So we're trying to hire up, but right now it's not good, but we're getting through it. We're going to make it.
It's pointing in the right direction.
Yeah,
I agree.
I just think we need to take it every day, as we always say. Let's make tomorrow better than we had today, and let's see how our industry kind of copes with all of that and how we come through it. But I also want the listeners to know, Chef Jerry, talk to them a little bit about the size of your location. What do you guys do? Because a lot of people know about your university, but I don't think they know the inner workings. So maybe you could take a few minutes and just run us through it. What do you guys actually do?
Yeah, sure. So Georgia Southern University, we're kind of the new big thing in Georgia, believe it or not. Of course, the University of Georgia, the Bulldogs will still be number one. And I better say that because I'm married to a Bulldog. If I want to stay married, I'm going to say that. But we picked up a couple other locations, smaller campuses and stuff here this last couple of years. So we're pushing 30,000 students right now, and that could be eclipsed going into the fall. Enrollment is up for sure. Now, so we are growing, and we are Division I sports and stuff, and we're not great at football, but we're okay, and we're getting there. So we get a lot of national coverage and ESPN coverage and all that fun stuff. But as far as dining goes, we are self-operating. I personally run the second largest dining facility in this country.
Wow.
It is almost 100,000 square feet. It's over 10 restaurants in one, basically. We, back when we're normal, serve over 8,000 to 9,000 entries, as we call them, a day. Yep. And we do a lot of action stations, a lot of made to order. We do, surf and turf and stuff like that. So we give the students a really good variety. We meet every needs, allergens, stations, vegans. I have been the bane of my existence as a chef my whole career, but I have finally succumbed to them, and I take care of the vegans now. But dining's going well. Our retail's going well. The only thing I can say that's not going well is we have these stupid little robots. I don't know if you guys have heard of Starship.
Yeah.
that they're big in Ivy League schools and stuff up there. But well, actually both probably where you guys live in schools, but that tech isn't really taking off. But our food truck is still doing really well. I took over it to help our dining out, and the food truck is doing strong, and everybody's happy with what I'm doing. We're just trying to save catering now. We need to get people back in groups where catering can make a living. But Georgia Southern, yeah, we have 9 outlets, 10 or 12 outlets total with our retail. The only thing we got rid of was concessions, and good riddance for that one, if you ask me.
That's amazing.
We call it sharpen your pencil, and that's all you did. You know?
So looking at, so how long have you been at the university, Chef?
6 years.
And what are the dining trends? How did things change from 6 years to now? Obviously not, with COVID, but what did you see the biggest shift was for the students coming in?
Well, every year is different. You have to learn trends for us, I think this goes for most higher education. I don't think it's just Georgia, but knowing your demographic, and we get students from all over the world. We have a huge African population. We do have quite a large international student body overall. But you have they're different every year. The freshmen obviously are required to have dining plans, and that's how I make my money and how I get paid. So you're getting a whole different group every year, and that's obviously your biggest class. So you're learning them every year. Here in Georgia, in Middle Georgia, I call it the Bud Light demographic. They all come from the small town Middle Georgia, where they have the 3 basic things. They have a McDonald's, they have the crappy little Mexican restaurant, and they have a China Star or whatever, and that's all they know. So what I've taken on challenge when I got there 6 years ago is they had some empty spaces that weren't being utilized, and they were lacking diversity. They just did, everybody wanted breakfast, and now I have a ramen noodle bar. I had to educate the students on food. I came from a 5-star background, so when I came in, I wanted to make it 5-star, but you can't really do that when you're doing 8,000 people a day. I had to learn that the hard way. But there's still ways around it, and just like I mentioned, the surf and turf station, which is crazy popular. Obviously, you go pick up your own piece of meat, and it gets cooked to order with butters or seasonings, and that people were like, you can't afford to do that. I said, okay, watch me. And it actually lowered my food cost, because now they're standing in line for that surf and turf, instead of going over the pizzas and trying to get a half of a pizza and throwing half of it away, or going to get wings and throwing a pound of wings away because they're waiting in line to get that steak or that seafood. So it actually lowered my cost. So it was kind of one of those nice times I could see I told you so. But yeah, no, every year you just have to, you kind of go with the ebbs and flows and learn your new student body, and we're on our 5th president, unfortunately. I think Georgia Southern is kind of a stepping stool for presidents, and then they go off to bigger schools. So the expectations change a little bit sometimes, but being self-opting, we're able to adapt, and it's nice to be able to adapt that quick, and we have that ability to do it.
Great. So you are obviously a classically trained chef. You went to Johnson & Wales. How do you hire? What is your criteria bringing in talent into your university?
Right now, if you can breathe and walk. Before that is one thing that was definitely lacking. When I came in, it was just high school education, nothing wrong with that. Type people that had no physical, formal training. And the first thing I said was we need talent in here. I understand not everybody can be talent. So I actually hired in some awesome sous chefs who have now moved on. 2 of them moved on to be executive chefs. Kind of homegrown bragging there, but at least my talent on the top end, I was able to get very high quality talent, and it's hard to get talent when you're doing batch type cooking and stuff like we do. But when I give them free reign and I let them play with some special events and stuff, they enjoy that. So that's kind of the lure, and I was able, I still have down my chef de cuisine, who I share an office with. We call her my work wife, and she literally does my job. I do. She's the best I've ever had. I've had her for 2 years now, and I don't think I've worked in 2 years. And people laugh. They're like, when do you cook? I was like, I don't even play with knives anymore. I just play with numbers, and it's great, and it's great. So yes, to have the talent on top is awesome, and that's where I can focus on the talent, and then they are very good at doing, the stuff on the lower end stuff for the talent.
How does the students organically grow? The freshmen that came in, and then when they turn to sophomores, and then do you see a trend in food that's what kind of helps dictate the menu for the following year? Because that's 1/4 of your audience.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I did a lecture for the College of Business yesterday morning, and they were all about juniors in there, so they hadn't been there really in 2 years. And so they saw what subtle changes we had made, because every year I changed something. I mean, it can't be the same every year.
I think so.
The big hurdle that I have with my building is that is athletics. I take care of athletics because they don't have their own facility. So of course they're at my place, and we really had focus on their nutrition and stuff like that. So that kind of, we cater to them almost more than anything, which is not fair to the rest of the student body, but it's herd mentality. They follow the athletes, obviously, especially the football players. And but at the end of the day, my most popular station is chicken fingers and mac and cheese. No matter what I give them, but and that's going to be every year. But yeah, I mean, you see a different trend every year. Right now, I mean, people are just happy with a sandwich, and it's really weird, kind of depressing.
Yeah, there was actually I was wondering, what does dining look like right now in your campus?
We didn't know going into the fall. We didn't know if we're going to open. We didn't know how long we'd open, how many we'd let in. So we started. They're like, "What are you going to do? What do you do? You have to do something." So I came up with it's a to-go system, which we didn't do because we're an all access program. You can come in as many times as you want a day. So it got limited to back to swipes. So and we had to really watch. Contact was my biggest thing. So everything became very minimally contacted. We had to go to some pre-made stuff. We had to kill the action stations, which really hurt. I've since brought a couple back. I just do them like 1 or 2 days a week. I brought in some retail stuff. I do sushi. I bring in about 400 or 500 rolls of sushi a couple times a week, and just give them away. I just look at it as a costume business, but it's all to go right now. So and we let them have extra boxes really as much as they want, so they can go, if they can't make it back for dinner per se, they can take an extra box with them, go back to their dorm or study, and they're still fed and taken care of. But and they've really enjoyed that. So in fall semester, nobody sat in a dining hall. This semester, they're sitting. They're still using the to-go boxes, but they're sitting more and more. So people are getting more and more comfortable. But they do a great job wearing the mask. Georgia, it's not mandated, but the university is mandated. And the kids do a great job wearing the mask coming in. Obviously, you can't wear a mask when you're eating, but the kids do a really good job. And I'm very proud of them for how they take precautions. They don't social distance, but they'll at least wear their mask.
Yeah. Sounds like you've adapted very well then.
We're pretty proud of it. Georgia Tech is actually coming Friday to see how I'm doing things right now. So a little humble brag there. I got a school of Georgia Tech how to do it.
Set the bar. You've set the bar.
And that's really and I'm a big believer that's the key to everything we do is how do we pivot and how do we come out of COVID or any other circumstance. And you have a really innate ability to kind of go with the flow and make it work. And I love the story you told us about sushi, giving back to the students and still give them an experience. And I really admire that. That's great. there's another passion you have, and there's another event you have coming up. So we're excited to support you around that. But tell our listeners a little bit what the backstory is, what the event is all about, what can they expect, and how can they support it?
Real easy. I am a recovering alcoholic, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. I'm very happy, and I can almost say proud to say that, because that word recovery. I have been addicted to alcohol and ruining my life and killing myself for the last 26 years. And almost a year ago, I luckily had a little awakening and I was able to receive help. Mm-hmm. And I am flourishing, and I am doing very well in the recovery community. I'm in high standings in the recovery community.
Congratulations.
And thank you. But my biggest thing is, if, you try to find your way through recovery and what your worth is and your self-worth, and you go through some ebbs and flows with your recovery every day. We take it day by day, as we say. Yep. And we literally have to take it day by day. But one thing I really wanted to do was figure out, because every day I see miracles in meeting rooms, and every day I see tragedy in meeting rooms. I saw a really bad one this past weekend with a man that's been sober, and he's older for 10 years, had a relapse, and it just broke my heart. I was heartbroken. Mm-hmm. So I see that stuff every day too. You see the good and bad. And, I was like, there's so much struggling going on. And being in a college town, obviously drinking and drugs is a big thing around here. I know a lot of the police officers and stuff. Heroin is a big thing here in this town right now. But the thing about when it comes to addiction and people that are addicted, whether it's drugs or alcohol, whatever, we don't have true numbers, because it's not like we walk around with a sign around our neck that says, I'm an alcoholic. We don't take the census and say, hey, make sure you check me for, a drug dealer or whatever. So we don't really know how bad it is. But when you're in recovery, you see it and you know how to identify it. And people need help. And a lot of people will talk a big game, but nobody, once they get out of the rooms, it makes them feel good. And they go out back in the community. Luckily, they're doing their thing, but they're not helping anybody else. And I said, that's what I got to do. That's my calling. That's why, God, and I will say that word, God saved me for. And that's why he made me an alcoholic. It's one thing my sponsor and I talk about a lot. We're both proud to be alcoholics because we are giving back. We survived. We went through hell, and we were able to survive and come out on the other end. And now it's our turn to give back. And nobody really is doing anything like I'm doing. So what I'm trying to do is give back to the recovery community by helping people get scholarships to go to rehab. Rehab is very expensive. But I have good insurance, but you're still, huge copays. It's anywhere from $7,000 to $9,000 a day usually to go to rehab. Insurance doesn't pay for all that. Then there's your therapy afterwards, and that's where a lot of people lose in relapses. After rehab, they get out and they don't have anything or anybody to talk to, and they go back to whatever their addiction is. So I want to give people a chance to have therapy and have better meeting places. Our meeting places are antiquated, and they need to be redone and updated, and all that stuff's fun and great, but giving back is what it's all about. And what I have coming up, I said almost a year ago was the day I was saved. On March 18th is my sobriety birthday. And it'll be 1 year, and I will get my blue check. Thank you. Yeah, we call it our birthday, and it is a very proud day. I will be getting my first blue chip, which is amazing. We're very proud of them. I keep all my chips in my truck to remind me every day when I get in there of what I've come through and what I've done. And so what I've done is I've challenged everybody out there. If you know anything about my little venture area, it's called Angels Anchors. I didn't realize it was such a tongue twister when I came up with the name. So, we every day there's a national day of something, there's probably even a national Austrian man day or something here. But every day there's
October 26th. Yes.
I knew, but every day there's like 5 or 6. Today is National Day of Dog Poop or Chocolate Eating Day or whatever. So I said, why not? Why can't I have a national day? So I declared March 18th is National Angels Anchors Day. And that is my sobriety birthday. And that is selfish as hell. And that's okay because it's important to me. And this is my cause. And this is what I'm doing. And I'm giving back, damn it. So that is what I'm doing. So I am challenging everybody out there to give back. Now, obviously, give however you want, to me, to whatever. But if you can't give back to me, give to somebody. Give back to the recovery, the substance abuse community in your state, in your town, in your country. I don't care if you're Austrian. I don't care if you're in an RV on the left coast and fishing. Okay, give back to your community. And I'm challenging everybody that day better do something. And again, if it's not monetarily, then give your time. There is, if you don't know, call me, look me up, DM me, whatever you need, text me, email me. I'm at Georgia Southern. I'm not hard to find. I'm a 300-pound, 6-foot guy with glasses and a beard. You can't miss me. So I want everybody to get back on that day. Whether you help me out,
that's awesome.
Whether you donate to my cause, whether you do it to your local substance recovery places, or you just donate some time to the Red Cross or the Salvation Army. If you have a rehab facility, call them up. They won't let you in because it's a hospital, but call them, see what they need. Do they need supplies? Do they need some toilet paper? Do the patients need toothpaste? Call them up, ask them, donate some food to them. Trust me, they need all that stuff. So give back. March 18th, I am challenging everybody to give back to the substance community, because what I have found out when I started this venture, and thank you to both of y'all, because I would not be here talking about this today if it wasn't for you. Besides, you are both very good friends. You're mentors of mine, and you have pushed me to follow my passion. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you. So thank you both. I want to get that in there.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
But if you got to give back. And if there's one thing that comes out of this, is you're going to feel better about yourself. And if everybody gives back, we tell everybody, if everybody could go to a quote unquote meeting, I can't use the words because that's against the rules, but everybody knows what I'm talking about. If everybody could just go to that one of those meetings, and you could feel what we feel in recovery, and the self-worth and just the passion that it gives you inside, and that you are surrounded, and if you're hurting, you are surrounded by people. If everybody could go to one of these meetings, the world would be a better place. We don't judge. We don't do any of this stuff, and we're all there for each other. Can you imagine what the world would be like if we all gave back and helped?
Gave back and support.
And support your brothers and sisters. We're chefs. We're in the restaurant business. Besides all the million things I have going on, I'm helping all of our, we have mutual friends. I'm helping them out with their businesses. Yep. I'm making time for them. Before I came on this call, I was sending an email, doing some research for some people to give them some pointers. We need to help our brothers and sisters some way, somehow, no matter what. And if you don't believe in recovery, that's fine. Help a brother and sister anyway. But what I'm finding out is everybody talks about cancer, and cancer is a big deal. Cancer's hit my family pretty hard too. Substance abuse has hit my family even worse. I watched my father die at 52 when I was 21 years old. I was at his bedside when we had turned the button off. I do not recommend that. So what I've been finding out in my little venture is everybody has been touched by substance abuse, whether it's a friend or whatever. It's touching lives just as much as cancer. And that has blown my mind. It just shows how much of an alcoholic I really am, that I was in denial of that for all these years. Well, now I'm in denial of how bad of an epidemic it really is. And the pandemic hit us addicts even worse. And that's not being covered in the media. And that pisses me off.
What you just said, it's not being uncovered. That's exactly.
And for me, I think you said something, I think as chefs, and especially the stuff you went through, we have a really tough time kind of standing up and saying, hey, I'm doing this, or you call it selfish. I don't call it selfish. I think you give that holding a voice, you showing up for everybody else who struggles with it. And if that's not being put out there, people don't have the conversations. And for me, that conversations are big. You need to find a way to open the doors for the conversations. And I think that event you putting on is not just that you give this whole cause a voice, you're really opening up the doors for the other people saying, hey, I need help. I struggle with this. I don't know how to get out of it. And just making yourself vulnerable and being there and showing up for people is huge. And I want to congratulate you for that.
Yeah, our hats go off to you. Well, my hat fell off.
Besides the help, what it is trying to break down the barriers of that stigma of being an alcoholic's a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Trust me, being an alcoholic's not a bad thing. I'm a surviving alcoholic and I am thriving now. I'm a better father. I'm a better husband. I'm a better son. I'm a better chef. I'm a better person. I'm thriving now. There's nothing wrong with the fact that I'm an alcoholic, and I'm not one of those that's going to sit there and hide behind that anonymous word. In fact, my podcast is called Anonymous No More, because I will be heard, and I am not going to hide behind what I am. I'm proud of what I am, and I'm going to, because of that.
I like what he said and how you drive. Maybe for our listeners here, can you give somebody, who's struggling with that? Give them the 3 things you do, or what happened, or is there a practice you have or a habit you have to kind of get through it? Help the people which struggle with that. So what would you tell them is your best practice, for lack of better words?
Obviously recovery is a 12-step program, but we don't need to go in. The first step is what's most important. And that's admitting that you are powerless over your addiction, no matter what it is. We're all addicts. It doesn't matter if it's alcohol, drugs, or gambling, and we're all addicts. They're all diseases. And if you can just admit that you have a problem, because that was my problem. I didn't want to admit that I was, even though I knew I was, I wouldn't admit it. If you can admit that you are powerless over your addiction, you're halfway home already. So if you can just sit there and look at yourself in the mirror, you don't have to say to anybody else. Just if you're struggling right now and you're listening to this, just go in the bathroom, look yourself in the mirror, and can you say to yourself, "I'm an alcoholic. I need help." You're halfway there. You really are. That will take so much weight off your shoulders. That's really it, because unless we can get people to that point, we cannot help them. You cannot help somebody who doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah.
Luckily, I wanted to be helped, and it was a rough road. Even though I voluntarily went to rehab, I asked to go to rehab. I said I was an alcoholic, and when you go in rehab, it's rough. The first time, and I said I was an alcoholic. First time I sat in rehab and had to sit in a little group and say, "Hi, I'm Jerry. I'm an alcoholic." I about cried. I mean, it was frightening. It was terrifying. But if you can do that and admit to yourself, just yourself, that you're powerless over your addiction, you're halfway there, and then we can get you help. And then you don't even need 3 things. You need 1. And then the rest can be taken care of from there.
Yeah.
What a great...
Go ahead, Jeff.
No, that's great advice. So thank you for sharing that.
We don't like the way we look. So if you can look at yourself in the mirror and say that, you're already on your path to recovery.
Yeah. That's huge.
So anyway, if I could just real quick,
talk to us about the event. What is happening on the 18th? You talked about some giveaways. You have some really cool stuff to give away. So how can people partake or support that on the 18th?
So definitely, obviously, donations are very welcome, encouraged. And again, if you can't do it for me, do it for your local substance place, or just donate your time. But for me personally, it's Angels Anchors is a GoFundMe there. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on all the social media platforms. It's just very simple. Jerry Bradley or Angels Anchors on all of them. And I'm working on some things, trying to do a little bit of event. I don't want to get too much into it because some things aren't concrete. But what I am going to do is have like a following with a camera and stuff. We'll be going live a lot, and it'll be kind of the day of Jerry's sobriety date. And as hopefully people are watching and they are donating, I do have some wonderful packages. I have a couple wonderful paintings here that were donated from a local artist. They're flow art. I don't know what people know what flow art is. They're really cool, and he was very nice to help me out. And so, if that's something you're interested in, just make a comment about it. And to the highest bidder, it'll go. I have this huge Starbucks package, and I'm gonna say I use my connections with Starbucks since I'm in dining. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's easily over like $300-400 worth of stuff, and I got all 3 bags. I got this press. I mean, like, you know how expensive Starbucks is. So I'm gonna give that out, and then for the chefs out there, since that's our kind of low hanging fruit, that's our people. I have this really badass chef professional kit, and there's 28 pieces in it. And it's all brand new. It's all
Mm-hmm.
professional grade, from knives, cutting boards, digital thermometers, Cambros, measuring spoons, and all this. And it's all,
Oh,
again,
cool.
still
That's
in the
awesome.
wrapper, restaurant grade. I have 2 sets of those, and looking for good bids on that. Um, for any bid over $100, you're more likely going to get some Angels Anchors merchandise. Obviously, not just a sticker, but I do have some surprises for that. For anything over $100, I want to send a thank you, and we'll do that. And I'll offer myself. Now, don't get excited there, Joe. What I mean is, I'll offer my services if anybody needs any kind of consulting work or whatever. And if you really want to get crazy and give a nice big donation, heck, I'll come cook a private dinner for you. You can
That's great.
hire your own private chef. I'd be happy to. I'm not going to set any financial monetary values on there, but obviously that would have to be pretty substantial for me to fly and go somewhere. But I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody
Yep.
wants a private chef, I do have a 5-star background. I've cooked for presidents, rock stars, movie stars. I know all these guys. I'd be happy to do it. I'll even give you my famous creme brulee recipe. We got to keep it French around here. And at the end of the day, for the one lucky winner, I may give away my most beloved prize of it all. And that is my French flag. And I'm going to have Christian sign it, and I'll send it to you. And if you haven't figured out, Christian's Austrian. And that's, so we have this little rivalry going on. So one special
really
winner, you're going to get an
there's really no
autograph.
rivalry. I think the French are the only ones which realize that the best pastries come from Austria. That's why in France they call them Viennese pastries, because they don't want to take any credit for it, because they know we do it better. And anywhere else in the country, they call it French pastries. But no, listen, I worked in France. Actually, my wife and I got married in France. So France is,
Yeah.
we love France.
But anyway, yeah, giveaways for everybody, for certain donations. I got some really good ones here, and my own personal time. And we're going to have like the following of Jerry Day. Obviously I can't
That's
bring
awesome.
the camera into the meeting that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's forbidden, but you'll see me probably go in and out. So, but please just help. Whether it's me, it's not about me. It's
Mm-hmm.
all this money, all this stuff is donated. All this money is going straight into an account that is going to sit there and go straight to scholarships and stuff. And my big surprise, I kind of alluded to on social media today, was I did finalize. I am now an affiliate of 9line Apparel. And if you don't know what 9line Apparel is, Google it. And they're a Savannah-based company, which is just down the road from me. I know the guys very
Mm-hmm.
well. And they sell some really awesome stuff. They're obviously very kind of like military type stuff, but they got it. I mean, they sell everything. So I will be putting out my discount code, and if you enter that in, you will get 10% off. And then as more orders I get past 10, 20, then you'll get 20 to 25% to even to 30% off. And once I get to the second tiers of stuff, I will actually even get some commission off of that, which will go to Angels Anchors. I do not keep a cent. Everything I've spent on this thing, I've paid out of pocket. This is not money for Jerry. This is from helping people that suffer like I do.
Chef,
So
we really appreciate you being on today and giving this whole cause a voice and being the spokesperson for that. So thank you for that.
And I see the biggest takeaway, if I could wrap up what you just said about that anchor day, it's the listeners. This goes out to the listeners, and the listeners can actually make a difference in somebody's life that day and every day when they can do a great cause to this. So making a difference, like you had said earlier, it will make them feel good too, that they know that they've made a difference.
And just one last thing, I'm sorry, gentlemen. Motorcycle Club. Angels Anchors has a local motorcycle club. My patch is coming. I do want other towns and states. If you want to make your own motorcycle club, the only thing you have to do is buy your patch, and I'll do the rest, and I'll send the rest, and help raise money. Bikers and poker runs and stuff are great fundraisers, and you get to wear this really cool logo. It has a secondary logo. You can, for all you Sons of Anarchy wannabe guys out there, you can be Angels Anchors Anarchies guys. Okay, so that's another way to help out, and that's coming soon too.
So we appreciate you being on today's call. As you guys know, Joe and I are the founders of the Culinary Executive Mastermind, and we support hospitality professionals growing their career and their business. And one thing which is really important to us is the power of relationships. And you are a great example. We always say that you become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. It's always fun spending time with you. We appreciate you guys listening to our podcast today. I will link all of the information from Jerry in the podcast itself, so you know how to get a hold of him and how to support him. Go on Facebook, like his stuff, and support him if you can. Any closing words from you, Joe?
I just want to say, let's go out there and make a difference.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, guys.